Alrighty, what is up, guys? My name is thegoodjakeward, and I'm here to be playing a little bit of Mario Kart 64 for you. I'm going to be doing the 150cc, just the fastest mode, all cups with skip. A pretty fun speed run. There is a lot of RNG though, as far as what items you get. That determines what skips you can do. Um, so yeah, that's why it sort of fits into this marathon. But first thing to point out, we'll be using Yoshi. So Yoshi, Peach, and I think Toad are the three fastest characters, and Yoshi is the fastest one to menu to, and that'll be important later. But yeah, so time is gonna start when I click A on this first cup here, and then we'll do all 4 cups in sequence. But yeah, so we'll be doing that in 3, 2, 1, go. Alrighty. So this first cup, right at the beginning here, we have Luigi's Circuit, and we're gonna be doing a pretty big skip here if we can get the red shells for it. And already, so we go into this grass here to hit a checkpoint. Basically, a lot of the skips in this game are checkpoint abuse. Right here at the bat, though, we've got some RNG, so we need to try to get red shells, and oh, we do get red shells third try, which is not horrible. So right here, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna line up right here, and I'm gonna shoot a red shell, and then try to run into it. That time I missed it, so hopefully we won't do that again. But we're gonna try to run into it and get stuck behind this wall here like that. And you'll see that my place just jumped from 8th to 1st. And basically that's just a tiny bit of checkpoint abuse there, as we tricked the game into thinking that we completed a lap when we really didn't. Because I missed that first one, this is not gonna be ideal. I'm gonna let these guys pass so they don't eat my last red shell. This is not like the ideal way to do this, but please, Bowser, okay. See if we can get one more skip there, and we did not get it. So unfortunately, I think I'm just gonna have to do the rest of this normally. Ideally, you would get that red shell skip 3 times, and I probably would have reset anyways because we didn't get red shells until 3rd try. But yeah, the world record runs, or like the world record players for this game, spend a lot of time on this course just because you want to get a good start, and you want to get red shells first try. My time's not quite that optimized. I can afford to get it 2nd or 3rd try and still PB, but I would consider myself like a mid-tier player, speedrunner of this game, I guess. But we are back in 1st, and we just got to finish off this last lap. But at least you guys got to see the skip once. Of course, usually you'd want to get it all 3 times. And that skip can be done with a blue shell as well. But obviously the triple red shells is better because you can do it for all 3 laps. But yeah, that's the end of that first track. And we'll be on to the second one. It's right here in this menu screen. You actually hold start and then spam A. That's the fastest way to get through the points screen there. And we're on to the second track. So these next 2 tracks, so this is Moo Moo Farm. These next 2 tracks do not have, I guess, speedrunner skips. The next track will have like an intended shortcut that we'll be going for, but nothing too crazy. It's just going to be kind of going as fast as we can, trying not to hit ourselves with green shells like I almost did right there. But right there we had a spin out. So the way this game works is a little bit weird. If you like turn too much too quickly, you'll actually spin out. And you can kind of feel when it's going to happen. That time I actually didn't anticipate it coming, but if you press the brake soon enough, when you start to feel, okay, I just did it again. That doesn't usually happen that much, but if you press the brake right as you feel yourself starting to spin out, you can actually save it, and that'll be indicated by this musical note will pop up. The same thing is sometimes true if you hit a banana, you'll feel yourself spinning out, but if you hold down brake soon enough, you'll actually save yourself from spinning out. So we might see that later in the run. I'll point it out if it happens, but so far we've just been spinning out. So one of the infamous things about this game is the rubber banding. So as you play better, the AI will also play better, and they'll catch up to you. So yeah, so I star in third place. Yeah, the item distribution is kind of weird in MK664. Definitely a lot different than some of the newer Mario Kart titles. But yeah, we are on to Koopa Troopa Beach, or as we're playing on the Japanese version, is that Noko Beach? The reason I play on the Japanese version, well, it's actually not even really a reason. So there are some skips that you can only do on the Japanese version, but I don't actually do those skips. So I guess I just picked the Japanese version to begin with, in case one day I end up learning those skips. But here's sort of the developer intended shortcut I was talking about that I just completely missed. It's actually like harder than it looks to like line yourself up on that ramp. And I'm not exactly super in practice right now. I had to do some de-rusting for this run, let's just say. So. Triple shrooms though, that's nice. I think even in my PB, I only hit that shortcut 2 out of the 3 laps, so I can still tie my PB for this course. But yeah, you just want to line it up like that, and yeah, I had to make some last minute adjustments there and didn't quite make it. If I would have hopped, I probably would have cleared that gap, but didn't quite get it. We still got one more chance though, and we're still in first. Wait until after the finish line to lay these bananas down so they won't be a problem for us as we go on lap 3 here. The next course, Calamari Desert, has some pretty cool skips, so I promise we'll get back to the speedrunning strats here. Oh, just barely missed it. That was just lined up a little bit too far to the right. Too bad, but that's all right. So there is actually a glitch you can do on this map that I didn't do, but if you grab an item box and then get in a certain corner to the side of the finish line, it'll think you're in 8th place for like a split second. So if you get your item the second that you're in that sort of 8th place zone, you'll get better items, so you can get a star or golden shroom or something. But it's kind of hard to, I mean, it's not that hard, but it's kind of hard to line up. It is, you have to get it within a certain window. So all right, here is another RNG point in the run. So we're going to be going for either a star or red shells. Right here, I'm going to grab that and then sandbag a bit so we did get the red shell, so ideally right here we would get a star. We'll see if that happens. Nah, we got lightning. So red shells are still good though. The perfect RNG is you get red shells and then a star right after each other. So all right, so here I'm going to go in this tunnel and I'm going to shoot my shells, and they're going to hopefully line up right there, and then I can just slowly go into them and skip like the whole lap. So, and that was cool. I got the lightning, I guess, slows them down, but I guess that doesn't really matter because we're just gonna skip all the laps anyway. So that first lap takes a bit of setup, but now for these next 2 laps, I can just go right into my red shell and skip over the fence. There we go. I don't know why the shells just stick there. I guess they're like trying to hit the enemies, but they're stopped by the fence, and the fence for some reason doesn't like make them go away. Like most of the times when you hit a wall with a red shell, it'll just like vanish. But for some reason that specific spot, I think it has to do with the collisions on like, because this fence has weird collision. So you might have seen recently there was just crazy, oh man. But I had my green, I'm not sure what actually happened there, but it didn't. I thought it had something to do with the green shell, but maybe not. It actually could be a problem because we need to get up back in first. Oh boy. That is really unfortunate. I'm not expecting that to happen. Hopefully we can get back in first. We'll rely on the rubber banding to work in the opposite direction this time. So you do just have to get fourth or better. So that's one thing working in our favor, but not when I hit up against walls like that. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get it. Unfortunate, but that's okay. So we're just gonna continue. So ideally, you would get in fourth or better. But what we actually do here is after each cup, you reset immediately and go to the next cup, because that's quicker than waiting through the whole like reward sequence. So we're just gonna pretend like I got fourth or better there, and this is what you would do. You would reset after crossing the finish line, and that's that. All right, this track has some cool skips. They're kind of hard though. We'll see if I can pull it off. But the first thing we need to do is get stuck behind this fence, and I'm having a little bit of trouble with it, but there we go. And now, when Lakitu drops you, there's a split second where the fence, like, he can't pick you up again. So what I just did was I just, like, clipped through the wall and went down to the lower track. And you'll see now I'm in first. So we did hit that trick second try, which is pretty cool. If you do it right, then on the second and third laps, all we'll actually have to do is get stuck in the fence, and it'll place you down on the lower track. I'm not sure exactly how that works. It's something to do with the checkpoints. We'll see if we got it right, though. But yeah, that was actually pretty crazy. So we'll try this again, and hopefully it gives us the lap 2 glitch. Oh, it didn't. So we're going to have to do that same thing again. Just okay. All right, that one was perfect. So that was actually the ideal way of doing that first lap trick, is because I landed directly on the lower track. The first way that I did it was I sort of landed out of bounds down by the lower track, which works, but it's obviously not as fast because you have to wait for Lakitu to drop you back down. So just narrowly going between those two cars there. But yeah, it's a pretty cool skip. It's one of my favorites. We'll see if we get the actual... Okay, so that time you saw it, it put me directly down onto the lower track. I didn't have to do the second part of that skip. So that's ideally what will happen after you do the skip on the first lap. So at least I got to show that off. And this will actually be a pretty good Toad's Turnpike for me. Ideally, I try to get under 2 minutes for Toad's Turnpike if I do the skips pretty well. And we're going to get like a 2:01-ish, 2:02? 2:01. So that's not bad at all. Like that would be a solid completion of this track for me. In a run, I should say. Alrighty. On to the most broken of the tracks, in my opinion. We are not going to do any of this track. We are just going to turn around right at the start. Try not to get hit too much. We're going to go onto this bridge. I went a little bit too far there, but that's okay. And then we're going to hop over to the snow and go out of bounds. And the game should put us in first place. Yep, there we go. We're in first. So what happens is the game thinks that you completed a full lap and sets you back down behind the finish line, so you can just keep doing this. And you can finish this track in well under a minute. So yeah, this is like a really broken track. You can see I finished all 3 laps before they even finished one, before any of the opponents finished 1 lap. So super quickly moving through these tracks here. Yeah, I'm sure the AI got crazy mushrooms and crap to try to catch up to me, but didn't do them a single bit of good. All right, on to Choco Mountain. I didn't get the start boost there, but that's okay. So this track does have some pretty crazy wall jump strats that you can do. There's the triple weather tanko, which is like you wouldn't do that during runs, but it's a pretty cool wall jump, insanely hard, that Abney pulled off 3 times in a row. Abney is the world record in pretty much all the categories in this game. Actually, I think all the categories of this game. I don't think there's one that he's not. And he has many of the single track records as well. But yeah, there's some pretty crazy wall jumps you can do. The way that wall jumping works is if you hop, so if you hit the R button, you hop in this game. And I'm doing really bad trying to do this track. It's kind of a hard track. Trying to talk at the same time, but that's okay. The way that wall jumps work is if you're about to hit a wall, if you hop right before you hit the wall, you'll actually gain some height. And so you can do that to do some skips in this game. We're going to use that later in Wario Stadium when we get to that track to basically skip the whole track. Man, those were a lot of bananas. So you can do some wall jumps in this track, but I'm not going to just because they're kind of hard and I don't want to risk not finishing the track in 4th or better. So if I had been playing better on that first lap, I might have gone for one just to show it off, but I'm not going to risk that on the 3rd lap. We'll just try to stay in 1st here. There's a lot of items left on the road, which, I mean, that's another sort of RNG aspect of this game. Sometimes the AI will just place things in the worst possible place. And that can be really bad, but... Alrighty, done with Choco Mountain. Not too bad. So on to the next track here. Actually forgetting what track comes after this is kind of embarrassing, but I will find out at the same time that you guys do. Oh, Mario Circuit. Okay, so this one has some skips in it. Yeah, I'll go for them here. So if I get red shells, I'll finish it. But there's a red shell skip here. It's slightly harder than the Luigi's circuit red shell skips, but I'll go for it. Yep, there we go. I haven't actually done it in a while, so hopefully this goes well. Hopefully I'm not just screwing myself, but I'll take a little bit to set it up here. But all right, so we're gonna set a red shell there, and we actually got it. So that is the red shell skip. That was actually pretty cool. I'm glad that I got that first try. You basically throw a red shell at that wall, it turns around, comes back towards you, and then you can hop the fence. So pretty cool. I'm taking way too long to set it up. Obviously, the world record runs would do this a lot faster, but... Oh, man. And so if the enemies are right next to you, it can cause problems because the shell will turn around sooner and it'll mess up your timing, but... Get over there! Okay, wow, that sucks. Alright, well, we're going to give up on the red shell skip. I'm glad I at least got to show it off once, but now we're going to have a heck of a time trying to catch up with first. But again, this is the last track of the cup, so if we don't get back up into... I mean, I guess we don't need to get in first, we just need 4th or better, but if we don't get 4th or better, we're just going to continue on as we did, because that's what we do. Oh, now we have a conundrum here. Do I go for the red shell skip, or do I just trust myself? I'm gonna go for it. Like I said, we'll just... Oh my goodness. Heck yeah. Coming in clutch. Alright. So we actually hit the red shell skip there. That's actually pretty cool. I'm glad that I went for that. So if I hadn't have hit that, I don't think I would have been able to get back. So showing off the awesome gameplay for this marathon. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Pretty sick. Alright, that makes me happy. Gives me a nice confidence boost here going into Wario Stadium. So, Wario Stadium can be tricky. We're just going to do 2 wall jumps. So there's the first one, which is the easier of the 2, and then this one can be a little bit harder. And we're basically going to skip the entire track. Oh gosh. So, if you get the wall jump and get bounced the way that I just got bounced, you don't get the lap skip. So, of course I get the jump, but didn't get the lap skip. So wall jumps can be tricky. You can see I'm struggling here a little bit. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to hit the hop button the frame before you hit the wall. And so there's a very small window for you to do it. And sometimes, even if you time it perfectly, it's still not going to give it to you. You'll still just sort of crash and, oh boy, thanks Wario. So it can be a little bit RNG. This second one is definitely the harder of the 2 though. Luckily we can fail it a bunch of times and we'll still be fine. So that's what I wanted to do. where you just sort of hop over and skip the entire track. So we'll hope these next 2 laps go a little bit better. That's what happens when you don't get the wall jump. You just sort of bash off. One thing I'm doing here, if you triple tap A, you go like straight up into full speed, kind of. That's something I did not know at playing the game as a casual, as a child, but it's definitely useful in the speed run whenever you have to like reverse and then you want to go to full speed again. Sometimes if you don't do it right, you don't get the speed boost. That's why you see sometimes I start moving forward slowly and it isn't exactly what I want. Really struggling to get these wall jumps. Wall jumps can be really annoying, but bear with me. Luckily, this track is so long that we can fail this so many times and the AI just won't even be close. Watch me say that and then not be able to get it, but we only got 1 lap left, so hopefully this will be okay. Just 1 jump left. We've gotten 5 out of the 6. There we go. Okay. Through Wario Stadium in 2 minutes 10 seconds. Ideally, I would get it in well under a minute, so that was definitely not ideal. I mean, I failed that jump a lot of times, but yeah, the world record run is pretty crazy. He hits like all these skips first try basically and gets pretty good RNG. Although world record runs in the past have had fails when it comes to the Wario Stadium wall jumps. Like even they're not immune to it because it can be somewhat RNG. Sometimes there's no window for you to wall jump. And I'm not sure exactly what causes that, but it can be RNG. I'm pretty sure I was failing it right there just because I wasn't timing it right, but we'll just say that it was all just super bad RNG to make myself feel better. So this course is just about driving well and not hitting the penguins. There is some pretty cool skips that you can do. I don't think they're done in the world record run though. There's one pretty crazy skip where you basically use a penguin to knock yourself out of bounds, get a checkpoint, and you get a lap skip. It's super hard to pull off though, like not even close to consistent enough for full game runs, where there's already some really inconsistent tricks. So, I want to say that trick was recently discovered. I could be wrong about that, but because I thought that this track for a long time didn't have any skips except for there was one like crazy task. I could be wrong on that. Again, it's not a skip I've messed with just because it's so hard. I watched Abney, the world record holder, do a whole stream trying to get it and just could not get it once. Like he would get it like for 1 lap and then not be able to finish or something. Anyway, we're cruising. We're in first place. On lap 3. Good time for this track for me. I just shoot for sub 2, which we're about to get pretty easily. Yeah, I'd say more than hundreds, probably thousands. So in the Calamari Desert track, which was a track we did earlier, there's actually this crazy fence clip that was discovered, and it's like sub-pixel precision. But if you just like mushroom into that fence that I was lining up the red shells on, with the exact right angle and position, you would just clip through the fence. And people spent thousands of attempts trying to get that clip so that they could get the world record for the track because it's just an easy world record there. What I'm doing right here is I'm jumping the river and I'm hitting the opposite bank, and the game thinks that you actually fell down from this ramp above. So that one's a very simple skip. Like if you go fire up your N64 right now and try it, you could probably get it in like 2 or 3 tries. Because all you have to do is just cross the river and hit the bank, and it'll give you the skip. And it's pretty lenient where you hit as well. So I aim for this sort of dark texture. But it's a pretty big polygon that you can hit and it'll still give you the skip. So we're going to show that off 2 more times here on lap 2 and 3, but there's a harder red shell skip that the world record does that it's so insanely hard. I don't know world record runners pull it off consistently, but this skip is a lot easier, doesn't save as much time, but definitely until you're at like higher levels, this is sort of the skip that you go with when you're first starting to speedrun this game. And even up into the intermediate levels speedruns of this game. But yeah, pretty much all the skips in this game are just all checkpoint abuse. The checkpoint system is not the best. But I'm not complaining. That's how I'm pulling off these skips. So again, that's the dark texture I aimed for. That time I did not hop in time. I hopped too late. But you can just sort of line it up again. You can see the rubber banding. The fact that they've caught up with me, even though I'm skipping half the track, is kind of crazy. They're all just cruising. But we're managing to stay one step ahead. Alrighty. Okay, we're done with that track. Actually, that's the end of a cup, right? I'm forgetting. I don't have my splits pulled up. Normally I have my splits pulled up to tell me to reset the console. I'm just gonna wait just in case. Okay, it is not. I'm glad I waited. I was about to reset the console. This is the last track of the cup. So in terms of your question, Ludwig, emulator runs are allowed. I'm playing on emulator right now. That's kind of why there's not as much lag. If you've played some of these tracks on N64, you'll see there's a lot more lag. They are allowed. They are separated though, as you said. So there's a separate leaderboard for emulator and console, which is good. Both of them have a pretty decent amount of runs. It's not like one is... It's not, yeah, it's not like they're just all N64 purists. There's quite a few. There's probably like 20 runs on the emulator leaderboard, and I think I'm right sort of in the middle. Not quite up at the top end, but not at the bottom. So, like I said, very intermediate M64 speedrunner, or MK64 speedrunner. I'm also an SM64 speedrunner, so sometimes I get those confused, the acronyms at least. But yeah, it makes sense to separate the leaderboards just because there's absolutely no lag for emulator, whereas some of these courses have a ton of lag. Especially like DK Jungle Parkway, I think, is one of the ones that has a lot. We're about to get to that one pretty soon. So it's not necessarily based on in-game time. So when it comes to full game speedruns, it's actually real game time, I think, is how they rank them. They list the in-game time on the leaderboard, but real game time is what it's ranked by, I believe. And because it takes into account things like how fast you can menu, and how fast you can reset, like reset your console right after. Right there, you saw me save that spin up there. Reset your console right after the end of the cup, like I'm about to do right now. So yeah, it balances those things. When it comes to like single lap records, oh, I just did 50cc. That's a problem. When it comes to single lap records or like 3-lap records, I believe they do only go by in-game time. I need to focus on the menuing here. Okay, we're on to the last cup here. Yeah, PAL and NTSC is sort of a thing as well. The PAL runs fairly slower, so it makes tricks easier to pull off. And your in-game time will be better on PAL, assuming you can play better with the slowdown. But when it comes to real time, which is what these runs are done on, the NTSC is better because it runs faster. So although your in-game time might not be as good, your real time is better. I should explain what I just did right there. So what I did was I sort of went out of bounds and then crossed the finish line, but get placed back down right below the finish line. So it thinks that you completed a full lap there. So I'm doing the method where you fall into the water and Lakitu picks you up and puts you back down. If you're a little bit more precise with where you jump, you can actually land back into this cavern here and just start driving right away. And that's a little bit harder. But as you can see, we skipped the entire track here. That's what can happen if you go too far left. You won't get the out of bounds clip. But yeah, we'll try this again. Or sorry, too far right. Yep, did it again. First two were so good. Just need to focus. Focus up here. So I line myself up on this light spot right here. That's what I used to line myself up. Do some hops to sort of... Man, I just need to aim more left. It's been a while since I've done this track, I guess. Luckily, oh, actually not so luckily. We need to sort of get this going here. They're catching up. Of course, if I hit this once, like, we'll beat them, but... There we go, that looks good. And I actually got the clip back in bounds. So that's what I was talking about. If you line it up a little bit better, you clip back in bounds and you don't have to wait for Lakitu to come in, which you can. So that was decent. Ideally, you get that in under a minute. So I put a minute there of just fumbling around trying to get that third lap skip, but we'll take it. We still got in first pretty easily. So, all right, Yoshi Valley. This one has a couple cool skips in it. We're gonna be going for a speed item of some kind, either a single shroom or triple shrooms, or golden mushroom, or a star. So, and we actually got golden mushroom, so that is sick. We'll use that on lap 2. Right here, I'm gonna set up a trick here, where I'm gonna hit a certain polygon, and it's gonna give me a lap skip, hopefully. Yep, gave me the lap skip. So as you can see, I just went from lap 1 to lap 2, even though I definitely did not complete the full track. And then we're gonna come over here. Of course, there was a banana there. It just kind of goes to show the RNG of the AI. And then we're gonna do a short little hop there that skips that part of the track. And now we are going to do another lap skip here for our last lap. And hopefully I can line it up correctly. Again, I didn't actually practice this, so it's been a while since I've done it, but we'll see. I believe this is the right spot. I'm gonna aim just to the left of that sort of black crevice there. And hopefully we'll get a lap skip here. That looks good. So what this is gonna do is it's going to think that we completed a whole lap. Lakitu's gonna set me down. There we go. Nice little lap skip for us there. 126 is not bad. I think my record is, my personal record for this track is like sub 110. It's like a 105 or something. So 20 seconds off. I took a little bit longer to set it up, so not bad. All right, this is my least favorite track of all the tracks in Mario Kart 64. There's no skips, and it's just really easy to fall off and die. The AI are just constantly like knocking you around, trying to knock you off. And because there's no skips, you can't really get out in front of the AI as easily as you can in other tracks. So they're just constantly a problem. They're always right on your tail. Here's a small skip I do where I hop that gap there. Take that Mario. But yeah, I don't know if you can really call that a skip. It's just optimization. Yeah, the AI are always right on your heels. So in this game, different racers have different weights. So the heavier players can knock you around a lot more, especially when you're playing with the lightweights like Yoshi, Peach, and of course I hit myself with my own green shell and then hop the fence. Yeah, so this is sort of what I was talking about. This is why I hate this track. And like one mistake like that puts you back in sixth. So if you make a mistake like that right before the end, you have to redo the track. So yeah, if you don't get fourth or better, you have to redo the track. So that's why I kept saying we have to do fourth or better for all these. That's kind of the deal. Lightning is nice though. I'll take the lightning. That'll get us back up in the first, hopefully. Of course. And I don't even think there's anything I could do to dodge that. I just needed to know not to go right behind Bowser. But again, this gameplay is showing you why this game belongs at RNG-A-Thon. There's definitely a lot of RNG, both in the AI and in the items that you get, which help for skips. Oh gosh, yep, Mario with the star gonna take me out. Think we'll be okay. Think we'll get fourth or better, barring any crazy mistake. Oh, lightning definitely helps. That's nice. The cool thing about lightning too is it makes it so you can't use items, so I don't have to worry about the AI using items. Yeah, I think there is a task skip for this track, but I actually don't think I've seen it, but that would make sense. I'm pretty sure there's task skips for all these tracks, but there's no human skip for this track. All right, we're on to Rainbow Road. See how this goes. So there's a skip right here at the beginning that I'm gonna have trouble lining up for just because normally I'm in first when I line up for it. Yeah, I think that was way too early. Actually, that looks kind of good. Okay, we hit the skip. So yeah, so right at the beginning there, you can sort of hop off, and if you angle just right and do it at just the right spot, you can get down to the lower track and skip a large portion of the track. I'm actually very surprised I got that because I forgot what my setup was, and I just sort of YOLO'd it. So now our objective is to get a green shell, which I just had and just wasted for some unknown reason. So we'll hope we can get a green shell here as we approach the end. So there's a skip, a full lap skip you can do with the green shell at the end. Okay, we did get a green shell. I don't feel too bad about that. As you can see, we're way ahead of all the rest of the racers, but they will be doing their best to catch up. They will go a lot faster than me because of the rubber banding, so it's not necessarily free. This green shell skip, I actually have trouble with, so we'll hope it goes well here. I'm hoping I can show it off. But basically, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get hit by the green shell and hop the fence, just like I did in Banshee Boardwalk, actually. Except here we'll be actually trying to do it. So there's a setup I kind of use for it right here. I'm going to aim right at this wall here. And then try to hit the shell. Yep, didn't get it. We're going to get another shot, though, if we can get a green shell. Your chances of getting a green shell, oh yes, we actually got one. Your chances of getting a green shell are a lot greater when you're in first, so got to keep that in mind. But all right, we're gonna get another shot here. We got it, heck yeah. So got it second try. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna cross the finish line. So it's gonna think it's gonna count us as on the next lap, and then it's gonna place us back down behind the finish line. So we now just did a full lap skip, and we can see we're now in first, and now we can go for the green shell again, and we'll have a bunch of tries here because they have to go around the entire track. Let's see how this works. Did not mean to run into that, but there is a red shell skip. I don't know it though, so we're gonna keep coming for green shells. Please give me a green shell. Okay, we got a green shell, so we're gonna try that skip again. Hopefully we can get it here and finish this run. I'd be really hyped if we hit this right here. We'll see. Wish me luck. We got it. Heck yeah. All right, that actually feels really good. So I've run this game in marathons before, and I just haven't been able to get the green skip. And didn't work out, but that is sick. We hit it twice, which is pretty ideal. So that's kind of an ideal Rainbow Road for me. So that is it. Sorry, I forgot to say time. That's time. Yeah, I'm interested to hear what the final time is on that, but I assume we were below estimate because that last track can be like the big deciding factor as to whether I hit estimate or not. Because if you don't hit the green skip, you have to spend a lot of time going back around. But yeah, I'm happy with that. Happy to get most of those skips there. Show you guys some of the cool things that Mario Kart 64 speedrunning has to offer. But
GG on that. Yeah, I think we're somewhere around 38 and teens for seconds. So yeah, definitely underestimate.
Perfect. Well, thank you. Yeah. Thanks for having me at the marathon. I'll do a quick shout out to the Mario Kart 64 Discord. If you're thinking about running this game, that's a great place to start. They're very active and very helpful. And there's actually a beginners channel where you can like chat with other people learning the game as well. So, yeah, thank you.
Absolutely great run. Thank you, the good Jakeward, for that run. And we're going to be going to intermission here in a second and be right back with donations and what's coming up next.